So AI is completely shaking up the way we build software. I mean, it's promising to make all of us faster, smarter, more innovative, you name it. But of course, there's another side to the story, right? A side that's full of tricky questions about risk and control, and even our privacy. So how in the world do we navigate this new landscape? Let's get into it. And really, this is the big question we're all wrestling with. We're jumping on board with these incredibly powerful tools, but what's the trade-off? In this explainer, we're going to break down that promise versus the peril. We'll look at how to use these tools, which ones you can actually trust, and why the entire game of software development is changing right before our very eyes. Okay, so to really get a handle on how developers should be using AI, let's look at this fascinating real-world experiment run by a tech consultancy called Zyze. What they did was they took two student interns and put two totally different AI coding methods head-to-head. This was the core challenge Zyze was trying to crack. You know, it's not enough to just hand a new developer a super powerful tool and say, good luck. You've got to teach them how to use it without skipping over the fundamentals. The big risk is creating a generation of coders who can't really debug or even explain the very systems they're building. So they tested two very distinct approaches. The first one, which they called AI First, is where you basically prompt an AI to generate the whole application for you, and the developer's job is to review and debug what comes out. The second approach, AI Assist, is more of a partnership. Think of tools like GitHub Copilot, where it suggests code as you go, but the human is still the one writing the story. The whole experiment played out over 7 weeks. After a week of getting their feet wet, the interns jumped into their first project using that AI First method. Then, for the last 3 weeks, they switched gears and used the AI Assist approach to build a digital form that met the UK government's strict standards. The order they did this in is super important, as you're about to see. And wow, look at these results. I mean, they couldn't be clearer. The AI First project, yeah, it spit out a working prototype pretty fast. But the code was brittle, a real black box. The interns spent most of their time just trying to fix what the AI built. But the AI Assist project? A completely different story. The code was clean, it was maintainable. And check out the intern's confidence level. It shot up from somewhat to very confident. This quote from one of the interns just says it all, doesn't it? With AI Assist, the developer stays in control. The AI is an amazing co-pilot, a fantastic partner, but it's not the one in the driver's seat. And that feeling of agency was everything, both for what they learned and for the quality of the final product. So the experiment makes a really strong case for the AI Assist approach. But that brings up a huge question. If we're going to partner up with an AI, which tools can we actually trust with our code? Well, a recent, super detailed analysis by the security firm SourceGraph created a privacy scorecard for the major AI coding assistants, and the results are pretty stark. There's a more than 20-point gap between the leader, Google Gemini, and the one at the bottom, OpenAI's GPT models. Now, that's not just a number. It's a huge difference in things like default settings, how transparent they are with your data, and your ability to control your own IP. And digging in, the research found some deeply concerning problems across the entire industry. First, most of these services use your code to train their models by default. You have to actively hunt for the setting to turn it off. Second, they don't proactively filter out secrets. If you accidentally paste an API key, whoops, it's sent and probably stored. And finally, their data retention policies are incredibly vague. Basically, we'll keep it as long as we feel like it. So the crucial takeaway here is this. You have to assume that anything you paste into these tools can be stored and looked at by a human. For right now, the burden of protecting sensitive data is 100% on you. Okay, let's zoom out, because this isn't just about individual developers and their tools. The way AI is being integrated is fundamentally rewriting the entire playbook for how we create software, from the very first spark of an idea to the final launch. A deep dive by McKinsey identified 5 fundamental shifts that AI is bringing to the table. And these aren't just small tweaks. We're talking a complete overhaul that makes us faster, more focused on the customer, and way more experimental. It's also changing the very roles we play on the team. The first shift is just all about speed. By automating the grunt work, market analysis, project management, testing, AI frees us humans up to focus on what we do best: high-level strategy, creative problem solving, and big picture thinking. And that just speeds up the entire process like crazy. And that speed is what unlocks the next 2 big shifts. AI can instantly pull together all this fragmented data, from user feedback to what people are saying on social media, and paint a clear picture of what customers actually want. This lets teams rapidly prototype and test more ideas, which means more good ideas actually see the light of day and products are built with customer value in mind from day one. But maybe the most profound shift is how AI is redefining our human roles, especially for product managers. The old way of working in silos, it's officially on its way out. With these AI tools, a product manager can now have oversight from start to finish. They can use AI to create a prototype, generate marketing copy, and even build a technical proof of concept with very little help from designers or engineers. This is elevating the PM role into what some are starting to call a mini CEO for the product. And this really illustrates the bigger trend. Those traditional lines between specialized jobs are getting blurry. As AI handles more of the routine tasks of product marketing and UI design, what we're seeing is the rise of a single, integrated product owner who's responsible for that entire journey, from concept all the way to customer value. Okay, so we've looked at how individual developers can use AI, we've seen which tools are raising some serious privacy red flags, and we've seen how the entire industry is being reshaped. So that brings us to the most important question. What's the path forward? How do we put all these pieces together into a smart strategy for the future? I think the single most important takeaway from all of this is that the future is about collaboration, not replacement. The goal isn't for AI to take over our jobs. The goal is for it to become a powerful partner that amplifies our human creativity, our judgment, and our expertise. This leads to some really clear recommendations. For both individuals and organizations, step one is to adopt that AI assist mindset. It also means we have to demand transparency from our tool providers on privacy. And crucially, it means we need to invest more, not less, in human mentorship to guide this transition. The skills we need are changing, from just writing code to architecting entire systems and validating what the AI gives us. Ultimately, the threat isn't the technology itself, it's our failure to adapt to it. The future belongs to the people who learn how to harness these tools effectively, ethically, and creatively. So the question isn't if you're going to use AI anymore, it's how.